You are about to witness just how deadly road rage can be.
Welcome to Sight Firearms Training Institute, located just outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Brad Ackman, and I am your Director of Training. Drop it! Welcome to the next episode of Front Sight's Reality Check. Front Sight's Reality Check series shows you the ugliness that is common out on the streets. The take-home message from Reality Check is to get the proper training before this type of violence touches you or your loved ones.
Warning: the video you are about to see contains violent images and is intended for a mature audience only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to episode number 55 of Front Sight's Reality Check. This video comes to us from a police station parking lot in Conway, Arkansas, which is just north of Little Rock. Several security cameras caught the action back in July of 2010. I'll tell you right now, it's difficult, if not impossible, to determine good guy from bad guy in this video. The drivers of this black car and this silver SUV have been cruising through town doing the road rage thing. Based on the color of their respective cars, I will very cleverly call these guys Mr. Black and Mr. Silver. Now, Mr. Black decides things have gotten out of hand, and he pulls into the parking lot of the Conway police station. Mr. Silver pulls right up alongside Mr. Black, and both men jump out. Mr. Silver aggressively approaches Mr. Black, who stays right next to his car. All right, what happens in the next split second is the crux of this entire video. If deadly force is going to be applied, then three elements must be present, and they are ability, opportunity, and intent. At Front Sight, we discuss these issues in detail because they determine your next move. For example, does Mr. Silver have the ability to hurt Mr. Black? Examples would be if Mr. Silver had a weapon, or if he was a trained fighter, or if he were much larger and physically stronger than Mr. Black. Next, does Mr. Silver have the opportunity to hurt Mr. Black? In other words, is he close enough? And finally, does Mr. Silver have the intent to hurt Mr. Black? For example, was he making verbal threats, closing the distance, etc.? Based on what we see in this video, it seems clear that Mr. Silver had both the opportunity and the intent to hurt Mr. Black. So the only remaining question is ability. And that's impossible to determine from this video. Regardless, Mr. Black obviously felt that his life was in danger, and he shoots Mr. Silver at arm's length. Mr. Silver drops instantly and subsequently dies at the scene. Man, what a mess. Well, this case went to trial, and Mr. Black was found not guilty. Now that's good for him, I suppose, but does that mean he did the right thing? Well, who am I to judge from an internet video? But it seems to me that he could have handled things a little bit better. For example, he should have done everything in his power to avoid the incident in the first place. Road rage is not worth killing for, and certainly not worth dying for. Next, he could have called 911 as he was approaching the police station and solicited the cops' help before he arrived. Also, he could have benefited from some very basic tactics, such as using cover and concealment, gaining some distance, or even waiting until Mr. Silver got out of the car and then simply driving away, leaving Mr. Silver in the dust, and thus buying valuable time. The punchline regarding the use of deadly force is don't do it unless you absolutely have to. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. The best way to ingrain the proper response in these split-second, high-stress, life or death situations is to get training, specifically scenario-based training. Yep, you guessed it. That's exactly what we do at Front Sight. Get training before you need it. Okay, thank you for watching. And as always, We appreciate your interest in Front Sight's Reality Check.